is the latest commission that I have been doing. I thought I would quickly show it to you. Okay, so today we're going to do some drawing with shading. We're going to be practicing our shading. I've got a rubber, I've got a 2B pencil and a 2H pencil. And we're just going to do a very simple sphere, but we're going to be very careful with our shading to get it looking good. So to make a nice circle, I'm going to cheat and use the inside of the masking tape just to draw around. I'm using my 3H pencil here. It is a very hard pencil, but I'm going to be pressing very, very lightly with it so that we hardly see what I have drawn. We do not want to make an indentation into the paper because sometimes a very hard pencil will do that. So hopefully I'll be able to see that enough. Yes, I can. Then we're going to decide where the light is going to be coming from, and I'm going to decide in my mind that the light will be coming from over here onto this, so I know that this part is going to be darker. So I'm basically just going to start, I've actually made this very sharp, my pencil, so I'm going to start with turning it around and knowing that this is going to be the darker area over here, and start working in very gently up to that edge. Now you'll notice that I am holding my pencil like this, not like that, how you would do if you were writing, so that I can get the lead very flat onto the surface. So I haven't got a point going into the paper. I'm just using computer paper, but I have got quite a few layers of it, you'll see here, quite a few layers of it, so that it's got a nice surface underneath it as well. So you don't want to be getting the bumps and lumps from a table underneath into your work. So I'm going to continue doing that for a while and shading it right up gently to this edge. Now I've shaded that relatively carefully. I have left it very light here, just rubbed it with my finger. I've got a little bit too dark there for my likings. Oh, and now I've done that, I've made it even darker. So that's fine. Your rubber will be able to take some out. So you might have noticed that with my shading, I was doing a kind of a circular movement, and I'm also now doing that circular movement with this rubber so that I don't get too much of a harsh line where I've rubbed it out. And also while I'm doing this, I'm going to take out, if I can, and this is why I had to draw it very lightly, the actual drawn line that I did right at the very start to get that circle. I don't want that showing. Now, it has disappeared pretty much when I've been doing the shading here, but I'm trying to get this so it's an absolute, almost nothing there. Now the reason why I want to do that is that when you come to draw things, they're not just sitting on a white background. When you draw something tonally, it's just the tones that are around it as well are as important as the tones that are in the object. So I'm just going to take some more of that out to maybe demonstrate this is a little bit better for you. I have left that quite light, but now I'm going to want a tone that is going to go up to the edge of this sphere. So I'm doing the outside of it. The background is just as important. But again, you don't want a harsh line. So we're trying to get rid of all those harsh lines by the movement of the pencil being slightly circular and very light, building it up. So you see I've got the background in, given it a tone. Now the best thing about doing your own background is that you can vary it from the tones you want and where you want them. Whereas if you just had a tonal piece of paper that you were working on, you wouldn't necessarily be able to do that. So for instance, if I wanted to make it a little bit darker just around background there, just to show the edge of this lightness showing up, I can do that. So I can just go in here and very carefully make that background just a little bit darker, so it starts to throw up the light on the round thing. Maybe just a tiny bit darker there. But then also here I have deliberately tried to make the tone exactly the same, so you can't see the edge there, but then it starts to get in the sphere here, in the ball here, it starts to get darker, and your eye will automatically put that together, because occasionally, of course, in life when you are looking at things, there might be times where the tone of the thing is exactly the same tone of the object, the background and the object. So that might happen. Still going to be working on it a little bit. Occasionally you'll get, depending on the quality of your pencil, you might get a little bit of lead that comes off onto the paper and sort of makes a mark. There's not much you can do about that, it just depends on the quality of your pencils. I've got just standard, really standard stuff here. So as I said before, I'm using quality paper, which is the computer paper, so it's not good quality paper for drawing on by any means. And the pencil I have got here is from Smith's, so again it's okay, but it's not the top quality pencil that you could get for drawing, which would be much smoother. So I am getting a little bit of texture coming up onto the drawing with the paper and the pencil. So to make the object sit, because at the moment it's very much sort of flying around in the surface, so to make it sort of sit better onto the table or wherever it is, you look here and you think, well, the shadow is going to be opposite that, and it's not going to be from here, it's going to be from down the bottom, and it's not going to go way up, whereas a lot of people start putting shadows far too high. They are just very low down. Okay, so I'm going to start putting in the indications of a shadow here. Again, it's going to be very soft. The whole drawing I'm trying to get with this is a soft feel to it. You can see the shadow just appearing there. Really, really dark, to the point. Occasionally you'll see I'll turn my pencil around until it just disappears underneath. So the idea of doing a drawing like this is to have a go at some very soft pencil control and see if you can get that tonal difference. The finger is a very good blending unit, but sometimes in boxes you'll see that you will have tools to use for blending. Of course, you can try those. Come on. There we go. So there we are, there's that one, and that was done with a 2B pencil. These two here, this was slightly different. This is also, you can see I've left the line around here. It's done with an H pencil and it's cross hatching to get the shading, and this one was done with a 9B pencil, so it's much softer, but I haven't gone into doing the background, and you can still see that I've got the line showing a bit there, and I've put the light in a slightly different place because I wasn't showing the edge business. So we can see that there are three different ways of doing a very simple bit of shading practice. And so that is one thing that I'd like you to have a go at doing today, this week. And the other thing I'd like you to do is to have a go at finding some people in different positions. I've chosen just some sporting positions here, and draw it with pen. Now I want you to do it with pen directly, because obviously there are times when it might not go exactly how you want it to go, but you still have to continue with it. There's no rubbing out. So it makes you look a little bit harder just before you put in that line, knowing that you won't have the opportunity to rub it out. Of course, there may be issues with it not being exactly how you want, but have a go at doing that. Some action pictures of people. Of course, if you've got someone in the garden lying around, whatever, you can do them. But I've just taken these directly off the internet. I haven't been doing all this sport myself.